Welcome back, everybody. It's your boy THO, and we back with another one. We'll be talking about UFC Vegas 89 this Saturday, March 23rd, Amanda Hibas versus Rose Namajunas. With no further ado, let's get right into it. Alright, so the first fight I'm going to be talking about takes place in the heavyweight division. Muhammad Usman versus Mick Parkin. A little bit more about Muhammad Usman. Muhammad Usman has a 11-2 professional record, and yes, he is the brother of former champion Kamaru Usman. Before entering the UFC, Muhammad Usman fought in Titan FC. Muhammad Usman will start his UFC career on July 12, 2022 on the Ultimate Fighter 30 semifinal. He would beat Eduardo Perez. Usman will go on and string together another 3-fight win streak, giving him a 4-0 record inside the UFC octagon. Now, a little bit more about his opponent, Mick Parkin. Mick Parkin has a no professional record. Mick Parkin would put on an impressive performance before entering the UFC. He would have 5 professional bouts and all coming by way of KO, TKO. Parkin will start his UFC career on August 23rd, 2022 on Dana White's Contender Series. He will beat Eduardo Neves by submission. Parkin would fight 2 more times inside the UFC octagon and win them both. Alright, so the next fight I'm going to be talking about takes place in the flyweight division. Igor Del Silva versus Andre Lima. A little bit more about Igor Del Silva. Igor Del Silva has a no professional record. Igor Del Silva has only fought once inside the UFC octagon. He would fight Hayonota Silva on Dana White's Contender Series. He would win by KO TKO. Igor has fought in other notable arenas such as JF, Jungle Fighting. A little bit more about his opponent, Andre Lima. Andre Lima has a 7-0 professional record. Andre Lima also has only 1 fight inside the UFC octagon. He will fight and beat Rickson Zenidium on Dana White's Contender Series. Andre Lima has fought in fighting organizations such as Spartacus MMA. The next fight I'm going to be talking about takes place in the women's bantamweight division. Montserrat Rendon versus Daria Zhelyensky-Kova. A little bit more about Montserrat Rendon. Montserrat Rendon has a 6-0 professional record. Montserrat Rendon has only 1 fight inside the UFC octagon. She would debut on September 23, 2023 against Tamares Vidal. She would win by split decision. Montserrat Rendon has fought in other notable fighting organizations such as Combat Global and Invicta FC. Now, a little bit more about her opponent, Daria Zhelyensky-Kova. Daria Zhelyensky-Kova has a 8-1 professional record. Daria has yet to fight inside the UFC octagon. Daria has fought in Aries FC and OFC. Her last bout, Daria would beat Mary Loisayo via KO TKO. Alright, The next fight I'm going to be talking about takes place in the featherweight division. Jarno Aarons versus Stephen Nguyen. A little bit more about Jarno Aarons. Jarno Aarons has a 13-5-1 professional record. Jarno Aarons has not had the start to his UFC career that he would have liked. He currently has fought 2 times inside the UFC octagon, and he has lost both fights. Jarno Aarons will definitely be looking forward to his first victory this Saturday inside the UFC octagon, March 23rd. A little bit more about his opponent, Stephen Nguyen. Stephen Nguyen has a 9-1 professional record. Stephen Nguyen will start his UFC career on July 30th, 2019 on Dana White's Contender Series. He will lose to Alon Cruz via KO TKO. Because of this loss, the UFC will not keep him. Stephen would get another shot inside the UFC octagon again on Dana White's Contender Series, and this time he will beat Theo Ray Lane to secure his spot inside the UFC octagon. The next fight we'll be talking about takes place in the bantamweight division. Miles Johns versus Cody Gibson. A little bit more about Miles Johns. Miles Johns has a 13-2 professional record. Miles Johns will start his UFC career on Dana White's Contender Series. He will beat Richie Santiago. Miles Johns will taste defeat for the first time in his 3rd bout. He will lose to Mario Batista. Miles will go 4-1 in his last 5 UFC bouts. A little bit more about his opponent, Cody Gibson. Cody Gibson has a 20-9 professional record. Cody Gibson will be one half of the Ultimate Fighter 31 semi-finale. He would get a submission victory over Rico Disculio. His second and last fight to date would come in a unanimous decision loss to Brad Katona.
How do you want to start your second stint in the UFC? Like, what kind of performance do you want to have?
I mean, I want to, I think I'm better than people think I am, I think I've been around a long time, and I've seen a lot of things, and I still feel like I got some gas in the tank, and I want to make sure people. I think I go out and I finish Miles Johns, and I get a performance bonus like I want, and it sets me up really nicely for 2024 to move into the summer and have another big fight, and then move into the fall with another big fight. And I don't see any reason why I can't string three wins together this year and put myself in a conversation for trying to get a number next to my name and see how high we can climb before the wheels fall off. This time, what are we in? We're in March, so I was on the show this time last year, coming home from the show. But 13 months ago, I was not sure, and I didn't think the UFC was ever going to happen. So here we are, and that just goes to show that anything could happen in the sport. And yeah, man, I'm excited. I'm excited to ride off into the sunset with a bag of cash and some great fights that I hope I can, leave my mark on the sport before it's all said and done.
The next fight we'll be talking about takes place in the featherweight division. Ricardo Ramos versus Julian Erosa. A little bit more about Ricardo Ramos. Ricardo Ramos has a 16-5 professional record. Ricardo Ramos would have a phenomenal start to his UFC career. Ramos would win his first 3 fights with the organization. Ricardo Ramos would taste defeat for the first time in his 4th bout versus Saeed Nurmagomedov. After this loss, Ricardo Ramos would go 4-3 in his last 7 bouts. A little bit about his opponent, Julian Erosa. Julian Erosa has a 28-12 professional record. Julian Erosa will start his UFC career on June 26, 2018 on Dana White's Contender Series. He would beat Jamal Emmers via KO TKO. This victory would be short-lived as Julian Erosa would drop his next 3 fights. The UFC would cut Julian Erosa. Erosa would find himself fighting for Cage Sports MMA, where he would secure a submission victory with the promotion. The UFC would reinstate Erosa. Erosa would go 5-3 in his last 8 fights with the promotion. The next fight we'll be talking about takes place in the lightweight division. Kurt Hollenbach versus Trey Ogden. A little bit more about Kurt Hollenbach. Kurt Hollenbach has a 21-7 professional record. Kurt Hollenbach will start his UFC career on Dana White's Contender Series. His fight will be deemed a no contest. Hollenbach will then go and lose 3 straight fights inside the organization, which would get him booted out of the UFC. Kurt Hollenbach would find himself fighting for XFC, which he would string together 2 fights with the organization and win both of them by KO TKO. Kurt would re-sign back with the UFC and win both of his bouts, making him 2-0 since coming back with the organization. A little more about his opponent, Trey Ogden. Trey Ogden has a 16-6 professional record. Trey Ogden did not have the start to his UFC career that he would have liked. He is currently at 1-2, and his 4th fight, a no contest with the fighting promotion. Trey Ogden would definitely be looking for a splash inside the octagon this Saturday, March 23rd. Moving over to the main card. The first fight I'm going to be talking about takes place in the featherweight division. Fernando Padilla versus Luis Pajelo. A little bit more about Fernando Padilla. Fernando Padilla has a 15-5 professional record. Fernando Padilla would get a KO TKO victory in his first UFC bout versus Julian Erosa. In his second and last bout to date, Fernando Padilla would lose to Kyle Nelson, making his UFC record 1-1 in 2 bouts.
Hey, my name is Fernando Padilla. I'm from Chihuahua, Mexico. I train at Team Oyama, and I've been fighting professionally for 10 years. This journey of MMA is a crazy journey. It's full of up and down. Growing up in Chihuahua, trying to be a fighter, I think it wasn't easy. My family, my friends, everyone around me just like kind of make fun when I used to say that I wanted to be a fighter. It's a rough sport, but my hard work and determination make them believe in me. And I've been working hard. I've been working day in, day out, from Monday to Sunday, just constantly training. There's no shortcuts for this. There's no shortcuts for the main goal. Like if you want something in life, you need to work for it. You need to wake up every morning and get ready for the work. What's next for me? UFC Fight Night, March 23rd. I'm fighting Luis Pajuelo, Peruvian guy. Really important fight for me, more because last fight I got a loss by decision, so it just kind of sparked the hunger in me again.
Now, a little bit more about his opponent, Luis Pajelo. Luis Pajelo has a 8-1 professional record. Luis Pajelo has only one fight inside the UFC octagon. Pahela will secure a KO TKO victory over Robin Ring on Dana White's Contender Series. Luis Pahela has fought in other notable fighting rings such as FFC. Alright, next fight I'm going to be talking about also takes place in the featherweight division. Billy Quarantillo versus Yusuf Zalal. A little bit more about Billy Quarantillo. Billy Quarantillo has a 18-5 professional record. Billy Quarantillo would start his UFC career on July 23rd, 2019 on Dana White's Contender Series. Billy Q would win by KO TKO over Camila Kirk. Billy Q would string together 3 more wins, making his UFC record 4-0 before he would taste defeat for the first time. Billy Q would lose to Gavin Tucker. After this, Billy Q would go 3-2 in his next 5 bouts. A little more about his opponent, Yusuf Zalal. Yusuf Zalal has a 13-5-1 professional record. Yusuf Zalal would have a phenomenal start to his UFC career. He would win his first 3 bouts, but things would take a turn. Yusuf Zalal will lose his next 3 bouts inside the octagon, one of which was to the current featherweight champ, Ilia Topuria. After this, Yusuf Zalal would have a draw versus Damon Blackshear. The UFC would cut Zalal. Yusuf Zalal would find himself fighting for Spada, which he would put together a 3-fight win streak, which earned him another shot inside the UFC octagon. His first fight back will be this Saturday, March 23rd. The next fight I'm going to be talking about takes place in the bantamweight division. Peyton Tallbolt versus Cameron Simon. A little more about Peyton Tallbolt. Peyton Tallbolt has a 7-0 professional record. Peyton Tallbolt has only 2 bouts inside the UFC octagon. He would win both, giving him a 2-0 UFC record. Before entering the UFC, Peyton Tallbolt would fight for Firepower MMA and Uriah Faber's A1 Combat. Now a little more about his opponent, Cameron Simon. Cameron Simon has a 9-1 professional record. Cameron Simon would have a red-hot start to his UFC career. He would win his first 4 bouts, and 3 of them came by way of KO, TKO. Cameron would eventually taste defeat for the first time inside the octagon. He would lose to Christian Rodriguez, making his record 4-1 in his young 5 fights inside the UFC. The next fight we'll be talking about takes place in the middleweight division. Edmund Shabazian versus AJ Dobson. A little bit more about Edmund Shabazian. Edmund Shabazian has a 12-4 professional record. Edmund Shabazian would start his UFC career on July 17, 2018 on Dana White's Contender Series. Edmund would KO TKO Antonio Jones. Edmund Shabazian would win his next 4 fights, making him 5-0 inside the octagon. Edmund Shabazian would lose for the first time to Derek Brunson. After this, Edmund would go 1-2 in his next 3 bouts inside the octagon. Now a little bit about his opponent, AJ Dobson. AJ Dobson has a 7-2 professional record. AJ Dobson will get his chance inside the UFC octagon on Dana White's Contender Series. He will get a submission victory over Hasham Arkaga. This victory would be short-lived as AJ Dobson will lose his next 2 fights inside the UFC octagon. AJ will be able to bounce back from this and secure a victory in his latest bout to date, making his UFC record 2-2. I'll be talking about the main event of the evening on Saturday with the women's flyweight division, Amanda Ribas versus Rose Namajunas. A little bit more about Amanda Ribas. Amanda Ribas has a 12-4 professional record. Amanda Ribas would have a phenomenal start to her UFC career. Amanda would win her first 4 fights with the fighting promotion. Amanda Ribas would taste defeat for the first time inside the octagon with a TKO loss to Marina Rodriguez. After this fight, Amanda Ribas will go 3-2 in her last 5 fights with the promotion. Now, a little bit about her opponent, Rose Namajunas. Rose Namajunas has a 12-6 professional record. Rose Namajunas will start her UFC career back on December 12, 2014. She was one half of the Ultimate Fighter 20 finale. She will lose to Carla Esparza by a rear naked choke. Rose Namajunas will bounce back from this and win her next 3 bouts, beating notable names as Angela Hill and Tisha Torres. Rose Namajunas would suffer defeat again, but she would quickly bounce back and win and be given a title shot. Namajunas will TKO Joanna Jędrzejczyk. After gaining the belt, Rose would eventually lose the belt, but she would work hard and gain it back, making her the first woman fighter to regain her title back.
So I've been baptized since I was a baby, and then where I wasn't, conscious of what was happening at all. Like, the only evidence of it is like a video, or a picture. And then I got rebaptized as when I was 9 years old, and I accepted Jesus as my Savior. I didn't really fully understand everything, but I kind of just was like, yes, I need a Savior, and I need Jesus. And so that's all that I understood. But then somewhere along my journey, I kind of fell away from that path. I kind of didn't really feel the need for a Savior anymore. And now I've just been I kind of went on a journey of the fight journey.
125 pounds for Thug Rose Namajunas.
Well, that's it for me today, guys. Hopefully you guys enjoy the fight this Saturday. I sure will.